Could I have a word with you, Captain?
I want to thank you for talking some sense into me back there with Cheney. It has been a long time since I... Oh, exactly as you'd imagine. Can't say I enjoyed the stint. It did provide me with plenty of time to think. The way I see it, the universe was snapping me back to where I needed to be. You stray too far from the course of your destiny, the world will try to correct for it. You're right. I owe you an apology. I've been so obsessed for so long, I couldn't see anything else. You offered me a place on your crew, friendship, and I used you to get to Cheney. And even then, you saved me from myself. I don't know if I could live with myself had I gone through with it. You owe me nothing, I know, but I'm begging your forgiveness. Thank you. I promise I'll be nothing but truthful from this point forward.
That gas is going to make us a fucking mint. 100... Take this. You've earned it. When we get buyers lined up, I'm gonna buy a gold toilet to shit in. You're goddamn right. Monarch isn't exactly a walk down the lanes of Byzantium. But here you are with all your limbs attached. Call me impressed, contractor. No one you saw, anyway. Glad to see you're looking out for yourself. You've been keeping busy. I hear you took on some extra work at Fallbrook. Catherine doesn't always play nice with others, but it sounds like she and Clive reached some kind of understanding. Hey, when you were at the slaughterhouse, those swine didn't give you any strange looks, did they? I knew it. I'm probably getting worked up over nothing. Just try not to think about pigs. You never know, you know? I've got a lot on my mind, but it's nothing that concerns you. At least, not yet. I have another job lined up, assuming you're still interested. You're gonna salvage me a space station. Heliosphere.
Oh, sure.
This opportunity... Here, this override bypass should get you into the station's systems, where you can... And one last thing. When you get there... Glad we understand each other. I'm on the heels of something big. Play your cards right and I'll clue you in, but right now, I'm not sure who I can trust. Just be careful.
I do not understand why you would discard the birthright destiny as bestowed upon you.
As usual, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So many yearn for the opportunities you disdain. There were those who would give their hand to be born of Byzantium as you were.
Looking for some... Don't... have a look.
Soft, sour, candy swamp around a sweet purple berry flavor.
Sam, I must confess, I have not been... We've reached HRS-1084, Captain. It's emitting a very weak docking signal. I almost mislabeled it as normal etheric static.
Think there's a generator somewhere?
Yeah? What?
Captain, a word of caution. Those automechanicals are likely to wake when we power the generator.
Nice and easy. Don't know how you managed to get Zora and Sanjar in the same room.
Oh, I see you have activated your holographic shroud, Captain. Excellent. Becoming indistinguishable from an authentic UDL trooper will prove... A UDL vessel has been tracking our position and just recently docked with the station.
I've been waiting for this day since we tagged your ship in Cascadia, Captain. Wait, who are you? No one told me we had security forces deployed on the station already. Roger that. Just as a precaution, I'm sure you won't mind if we turn on the station's security systems. Can't be too careful. We'd hate to leave this location undefended after a close call with outlaws. Whoa, okay, calm down. I didn't mean anything by it. Jeez. You try and help some people?
The UDL gunship is undocking from the station. They appear to be departing into space.
Rather impressive, Captain. Diplomacy at its finest. Keep a sharp eye out, Captain. One wrong step could incapacitate or kill. Science in action is both a marvelous and terrifying thing to behold. In this case, however, I'd say it's more the latter.
It's done. Now let's go get our money before Sublight sees what a creepy dump this place is. Wait, Chartran? We've seen that name before, back in Cascadia.
Crew report. Nyoka is drunk. Surprise. We've arrived at the groundbreaker.
Purple Berry Crunch. Sugar California.
Finally, a base of our own. Soon we'll have eyes on every corner of the system. Well done, Captain. I'll have those dismantled. You can never be too careful when moving into someone else's territory. Aside from the automated security, did you meet any resistance at the station? Why would they leave an asset like that unprotected? Unless... could the station be a trap? Unlikely. But possibly. One more thing to consider. I've been less than honest with you. Your assignments weren't strictly about the South. How does an executive-level promotion sound? You can give yourself a raise. After the Monarch job, I started connect. You and I have I'm thinking more along the lines of the sapient species paradox. Ask yourself why a skeleton crew was studying that Alta Vitae gas in secret. Ask yourself why stockpiles were hidden on a planet full of monsters. No, they were hiding something the colony isn't ready to know. Before we go any further, I want you to keep an open mind. Can you do that for me, Captain? Aliens. I'm talking about aliens. They're the ones responsible for the deaths. Hear me out. I'm saying it's aliens. I'm not asking you to like it. I'm not even asking you to believe it. But I need to act on this threat to the colony, and I can't do...
Captain, in my humble assessment...
Well, at least she doesn't expect...
The crew is skeptical. That's good. I don't want you walking... You took that better than I thought. Dr. Chartrand is the crooked psychopath behind the gas experiments. She sold out her species. She's a research scientist and a damn good one. Before UDL poached her, she engineered a 0.2% increase in cystipig juiciness. Now she's doing the same thing with humanity. Her fingerprints were all over Station 1084. You saw what she did to her team. It's cute that you'd think that about me. I just want to add Savior of Humanity to my resume. I've got ambitions outside of this office, you know. Besides, this way Sublight gets first dibs on alien salvage. Do you usually come across innocent people trapped in suspension tanks? Because some of us would call that excessive. Remember, the tanks were... This keycard will get you by now.
Don't know how you managed to get Zora and Sanjar in the same room.
BNP, I can't believe it's not good. It's unbelievable how good it is.
How do you do? How do you do? How do you do?
Rizzo has a CCN 76 milk chocolate bar with caramel and tea-free milk.
Crew members Ellie and Max are engaged in a heated discussion in the kitchen. Now arriving at Phineas's top-secret orbital lab.
I'd clap you on the shoulder if I weren't behind a wall of bulletproof glass. According... typical. So, good news. Aloysius Clark, Minister of Earth. Virtually every... Clark is complicit... Ah, yes, the details. I'm not about to ask you to rampage through Byzantium trading bullets with the board's agents. We'll have to resort to... Carmen Imagawa. She's my contact in Byzantium. I'm giving you my old nav key. Remember?
So then I told him, oh, ha ha ha, that's... We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
On standby for command.
Do you mind? I'm meeting... Oh. You mean I'm supposed to be meeting you? Nothing, it's just... I thought you'd be taller. Anyway, let's not get hung up on that. The Phoenix is a wanted man, and the board has eyes everywhere in Byzantium. Yeah, that's my codename for... you know. Oh. I'm Golden Eagle. Yeah. I named you Cuckoo. That doesn't even make... Fine. Fine.
Does this mean I'm supposed to have one too? Fine, but make it a really good one.
Let's go with... Rufus Hummingbird.
Forget it. Codenames are for amateurs anyway.
Too late. I've already marked it off. Can't just go...
I'm almost afraid to ask, but what's my code name?
You're... Rockhopper Penguin.
I can't tell whether you're joking.
I never joke about tradecraft. Anyway, you're looking to make contact with Minister... Magpie, right? I should warn you, it won't be easy. He spends most of his time... Whoa, I'm not one of your B&E specialists. Ha. Some of the guards hang around Billingsley's house.
That place is still open? I used to study there during medical school.
Maybe you could do some reconnaissance there. You know, swipe a key while nobody's looking. Whatever. I'm... Afraid not. He almost never leaves. I've always been fascinated. The other thing... I started thinking about everything we see around. What is it? Good hunting, Golden Eagle.
Anti-clearance antibiotics. Be comforted knowing that anything antibiotics cannot solve.
A UDL security attendant is always prepared.
This property is off limits. Solicitors, loiterers, and uninvited visitors will be fined to the fullest extent of company policy. This ultimatum brought to you by Universal Defense Logistics. That's funny. The Minister isn't expecting visitors, and you don't much look like one of those couriers from HPS. Sure you are. And what is it you're delivering today? Typical. Why don't you...
Don't know how you managed to get Zora and Sanjar in the same room.
Impressive place Dr. Chartrand has. I'm going.
Headed back.
After Cascadia in 1084, I was expecting this. Chartrand has a thing sticking lab coats in tubes, doesn't she?
That's far enough. What are you doing here? How did you even get inside?
If anyone ever tries to off me, I hope they do it with the same professional courtesy.
Hagen? I've never heard of her. Is she from the board? Damn it. I knew this would happen. This is utter nonsense. I've never even been to Groundbreaker. What happened to the team? Tell me you didn't move their suspension tanks. I'll tell you everything, just don't hurt them. Too many people have been harmed on my account.
That's a rare dose of sincerity for Byzantium.
What are you doing, Doctor? This information is beyond classified.
You can write me up in your report. It hardly matters. I'm researching a new way to feed the colony. The crops we transplanted from Earth don't give us the nutrients we need. Our colonists might not realize it yet, but... the food we grow here barely sustains human life. The colony won't last under these conditions. I believe that I could adapt humans to live on... Look around. We're the only intelligent aliens in Halcyon. Not for lack of trying. I wanted to save them all, but I wasn't strong enough. There are other teams. We didn't want to experiment on human test subjects, so we used the only resources we had. Each other.
So you doomed the greater good for the well-being of a few bad apples.
I'm desperate. I've already asked all the best institutes on Earth for help. Years ago, we sent a message out on the Cornelius Vanderbilt, but heard nothing back. Once we can replicate a success, the board will move to rewire our nucleon. With any luck, our next generation will be eating and thriving off Halcyon crops.
Knowing what the board considers a success, that doesn't give me a lot of hope.
Progress is the future. Adaptation is survival.
We haven't made enough strides to advance the plan. Hardly any at all. But we have to keep trying. It's been missing for over 2 years now. They never re-established contact after the skip to Earth. Of course, the board is keeping that under wraps.
I can certainly understand why.
Imagine losing something with that many guns on it.
The board is uneasy about letting the colony know, seeing as half of their military force vanished without a trace. I'd prefer if you didn't use my name when you talk about this. My contract has a list of very terrible consequences for breaking secrecy. You came to kill me. I assume that's still on the table. Please don't. If I die, there's no one who can reproduce our work. every sacrifice will have been for nothing. And we'll be no closer to a solution that feeds the colony.
I try not to, least when it comes to the moral dilemmas. Lilia Hagen's a useful ally to have, but I'll back you up either way.
Everything I did was for the good of the colony.
It may not be pretty, but we risk the colony's downfall if we hinder the Doctor's research.
I hope you know what you're doing, Captain. You won't regret this. I'm still far from the breakthrough I need, but you're at least giving me a chance. For now, I'd better pack up the lab and head somewhere discreet.
Not so fast. Captain, what you just learned is beyond your clearance. Hell, it's beyond mine. Give me one reason why I should let you walk out of here alive. Damn, that's a real good one. Now move along. The doc has a lot of work ahead of her, tidying up and such.
The board is our best and only chance at survival.
So, you threw off the constraints of proper society and abandoned a life of luxury.
So, Vicar. Vicky. Can I call you Vicky?
Absolutely fucking not.
For a vicar, you sure curse an awful fucking lot.
Look who's talking. Easy does it.
What? Keep your hands to yourself.
Here they come!
You broke the glass!
That's the last of them.
we talk?
So, we're just gonna march straight. I sure. Then. And. Everyone is. I know you want to say. Hey. Anything?
I can take a hint.
You're an artist, Captain. This is the simple truth. We are all molecular machines. The body is a collection of atoms. The mind is a consequence of chemical reactions. Therefore, our lives are predestined along a path that is only visible in retrospect.
There's nothing to see here.
Chasing us all.
Ma'am, please don't.
I want you to know.
Do you have any actual... Yeah? Let's see it. Looks like your papers are in order. All right, go on through.
Move along.
How did you get in here? You're not one of my guards. What are you doing here? Minister Clark, what a remarkable honor it is to meet you.
So, this is one of the guys who runs the colony, huh? Small room for a big shot.
If this is about another aetherwave clip or radio spot, you may kindly... Drugs, of course. What? I don't have... What is this system coming? Will that... Oh dear, I don't think I can say this any more slowly. Unless... Of course. It's Rockwell again, who else? And I thought he was only holding me here to keep me out of the way. Chairman Rockwell. He's kept me under house arrest for years. I've long suspected him of transacting business in my name. But this proves it.
Yeah, sure, it's always... Someone else who ordered the hookers and energizing ointment.
Please, this is important. Whatever it is that brought you here, Rockwell's the one behind it. How should I know? I've been under house arrest for years. But there is a way to find out, and perhaps to set things right. Whatever Rockwell's doing, he'll be doing it from the HHC headquarters. Your best lead is to look for details in his office.
Captain, we must investigate Rockwell. An injustice like this cannot go unchecked.
Indeed, it cannot. I can't overstate the urgency of the matter.
We really gonna do this? Getting involved is a messy business, and it rarely pays.
This is about more than bits. This is about the survival of the colony. If you don't help, who will? Why, this is starting to sound like an issue of Dissident Hunter. Via the Acropolis district, of course. That's where the most important corporate and government... But only board employees. There might be a route through the maintenance tunnels, but I'm afraid I don't know... There are... Suit yourself. When you reach the HHC building... Wait! Rockwell, please. But they need to know what's happened. Why, indeed. But besides, what isn't on it is the real question. I've gathered meeting minutes, internal messages, sustainability reports, and more, all exposing the corruption and mismanagement plaguing Halcyon. Once the rest of the Earth Directorate sees it, they'll have to send help.
Putting your faith in the inherent goodness?
The Earth Directorate is... Depending on the nature of their response, organizing and send... In the name of the Architect, what hope is... It's all I can do. Then I suppose I can only hope.
What's with the big hole in the wall?
Is there something I can do for you? I beg your pardon, Minister Clark's... A fair and appropriate point.
afternoon.
Well, that was some quite distressing information.
I don't know about you, but I'm all for living fast and dying young.
Captain, I was hoping for a word.
Not so fast. The Ministry of Accuracy and Morale is off limits to everyone without X-36 level clearance.
It's okay. I'm a doctor.
I don't care if you're a brain surgeon. If you don't work here, or for Chairman Rockwell himself, you're not getting in.
Worth a try. You'd be surprised how often that works.
Like I said, X-36 clearance only beyond this point. I don't know how you got that, but I still don't know you, and I don't have any new clearances on the list. Like I said. And you're... What are you talking about? There's no such thing. What? There's no way. I'm cleared to know about all clearances. I mean, I've gotta be, right? Whoa! There's no need for that. Go on through, and let's pretend this conversation never happened.
Move along.
What a pleasant surprise. Thanks to... But what are... On the other side of the lab? Well, I really shouldn't be doing this. If you're seen by any of the guards, however,
shoulders up.
No visitors. Let me guess. We've talked to her before. Just get out of here.
Can we talk?
Anyone with eyes to see would not be shocked to hear. Choosing to save them. I couldn't agree more. Anything.
Crew members Ellie and Max are engaged in a heated discussion in the kitchen. The groundbreaker has approved our request for docking, Captain. You're free to disembark. Good luck, Captain. Captain.
Rizzo's purple berry fudge.
Is it done? Well, damn. Contractor grew a conscience. As your employer, I'm both angry and disappointed. I'll add that to your file. Technically, I owe you an exit interview. Care to justify your betrayal of our species, or are we finished here? You're awfully quick to trust someone who offed her colleagues and called it a good start. Out of my office. We're done.
This is why I always ask for half my payment up front.
The thanks we get for showing a little integrity.
Out of my way!
Don't mess with us.
CNP Boss Pocket. Can be macrame in 2.5 seconds.
Captain, if you're looking for crew members Ellie or Felix, we are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain. Captain, if you're looking for crew members Ellie or Felix, they're sharing a drink. We have successfully arrived at Phineas's orbital lab, Captain, and we are still in one piece. Shall I congratulate myself, or would you like to do the honors?
We gotta talk about this.
I can't believe I wanted to shake his hand. I need a shot. Makes you wonder if being a treacherous, two-timing coward is... Graham Bryant, if that is his real name. At first, but then we... Maybe you're right. For both our sakes, let's get back to it.
I've kept myself busy. What? Oh, yes, well, that's obvious. Anyone with two working labs. Why do you think we've been doing all this? Hold on. Let me see if I understand this correctly. You're saying that Halcyon's on the brink of total collapse? And the chairman's plan to save all of us is to save himself? I always knew Halcyon was heading toward a systems collapse, but I never imagined we were already there. That's not a plan. That makes two things we don't have. None of this was supposed to happen. Human test subjects. Oh, that's grotesque. That's unthinkable. That's exactly what I'd expect out of the board. Thank you. You've brought me enough chemicals to get started, at least. I'm just sorry they came at the cost of human lives. Those poor people, they must have died. You say the board's trying to freeze their subjects over and over again without inflicting permanent damage? Well, they're nowhere close to solving that problem. I'll tell you this much. The board scientists are hopelessly lost. After years of fruitless experimentation, they've made exactly zero progress. Yes, I bet they did. The board scientists are more worried about pleasing their superiors than making real advancements. We're out of time. We're out of chemicals. We may very well be out of options. If the board has their way, we're all going to be spending the rest of our lives frozen in stasis. Do you realize what this means for the Hope? For your fellow colonists? What makes you think you'll get that chance? You'll be long dead before you make it to the nearest star. For better or worse, you're stuck with us here. Do you know what's waiting for us on the Hope? Scientists, engineers, artists, the brightest minds Earth ever sent us, uncorrupted by the board. The board's going to dispose of them all and transform the Hope into a prison for the rest of us. They're likely on their way to the Hope as we speak. We need to get to those colonists before the board. I have enough chemicals to start reviving a few of them, but no easy way to get them off the Hope. All right, I've got it. We can't possibly take my lab and all my equipment to the Hope, yes? That would be insane, so we do the slightly less insane thing. We bring the hope to us. Skip the entire ship across the distance of colony space, right next to my... Hold on now, hear me out. I haven't taken leave of all my senses. If we link up the hope to the unreliable, then you...
I've got a healthy disregard for personal safety, but this...
Your instincts are...
I don't understand a word you said, Doc. All I know...
Yes, excellent. I approve of your... You'll need to switch on the Hope's auxiliary power using the... Once you've skipped the Hope next to my lab... I know you're wondering why I'm doing all this. Why I believe the people on the Hope are the answer to the colony's problems. The Hope is carrying some of humanity's most brilliant thinkers. The board would... Oh, it's not you. I do experiments in that room. Some of them... Regardless, it's...
Captain, Felix and the Vicar are arguing again. We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
I've just finished reading a report of your work on Monarch. The broadcast... Graham Bryant was a madman, a narcissist, and exceedingly dangerous. Colony is safer without him. And you brokered an alliance with the broker himself. Hiram Blythe is a valuable asset. Well done. Your work is exemplary. You've earned a place in the chairman's inner circle. Congratulations are in order. No, I haven't been watching you. I've been reading reports of your work. You're better than an adventure serial. Now, we introduce you to the chairman's plan. Turn your eyes to the screen. Halcyon is on the verge of a total systems collapse. The truth is ugly and difficult to accept, but we must accept the truth before we can move forward. Malnutrition is already a problem. Disease will come next, followed by starvation. I know this must come as a surprise to you. I imagine you have questions.
Adjutant Akande, as much of an honor as it is to make your acquaintance, I must say I am gravely disappointed. Protecting the colony was your duty.
I share your disappointment, Vicar DeSoto. Protecting Halcyon is my solemn duty, and I have been negligent. I can no longer depend on lazy, weak-willed bureaucrats to help me rescue Halcyon. I need someone with a backbone, someone like your captain.
What's in this for you? There's gotta be an angle. There always is for people like you.
I appreciate your skepticism, Dr. Fenhill, but I'm not doing this for any personal gain. My angle is the preservation of our colony by any means possible. Nothing more, and nothing less. I won't pretend the truth isn't damning. Yes, the colony is on the verge of collapse, but there is a way to save it. I'll answer however... The Lifetime Employment Program is not some malevolent strategy of an evil mastermind. There's no dark secret buried in the fine print. The program is logical, it's reasonable, it's merciful, and most importantly, it will work. Byzantium is the beating heart of our colony. And as long as Byzantium survives, Halcyon may one day recover from the collapse. We must protect this city at any cost. Help me execute the Lifetime Employment Program, and you will have earned a place of honor in Byzantium. You will live in comfort and want for nothing. When you turned Phineas Wells over to me, I knew I could rely on you. You've demonstrated your ability to place duty above sentiment. And you deliver results. That quality alone is enough to separate you from the board's army of indecisive bureaucrats. Do you know how many meetings I have to sit through? How many papers I have to sign before I can make one decision? I'm only trying to... I can't save this colony. We need to talk about Emerald Vale. You handed Edgewater over to a band of dissidents. I can't have this. Adelaide McDevitt and her people have no place in the Halcyon that is to come. Edgewater needs to go. I want you to wipe the town out. No survivors.
I get that you board types are all about efficiency, but isn't this a bit much?
I'm asking your captain to amputate a rotting limb from the colony. I'd expect you to understand, Dr. Fenhill.
I cannot condone this plan. Wanton, senseless destruction of life is never the solution.
I don't need you to approve of my plan, Vicar. I need you to get it done. Now is not the time for half measures, Captain. I need a decision from you. You replaced a loyal, if hard-headed, town leader with a revolutionary. Adelaide's people have turned Edgewater into a hub of dissidents. These people are dangerous. They're going to become more dangerous after the collapse. We need to put them down. Now. Because we were negligent. You're right, the colony can't possibly feed itself. And it's our fault. This is our mess. And the only way we're cleaning it up is by taking action. I'm not asking you to be a murderer. I'm asking you to be a surgeon. Edgewater is a necrotic limb on the body of the colony. It must be severed. Don't fool yourself. The dissidents occupying Edgewater are rebels harboring dangerous and seditious ideas. Left to their own devices, their numbers will grow. Graham Bryant and his merry band of morons caused enough trouble on Monarch. I won't risk the same thing happening in Edgewater. No, allowing thousands of colonists to starve to death because we couldn't make one cold-blooded decision is insane. What I'm suggesting is absolutely logical. Steel your spine, Captain. Do what needs to be done. Don't make this more difficult than it needs to be, Captain. I rather like you, and I'd hate to have you shot for disobeying a direct order. Not true. You can choose to say, "Yes, ma'am," or "At once, Madam Adjutant," or "As you wish," or even, "I'll take care of it." I'm disappointed. I was so sure you had potential.
Target trouble!
That's the last of them.
So, sneak onto a lost colony ship and skip it across the system? What could go wrong?
A reminder to all crew members, there is only one toilet on the ship. Welcome back, Captain. How can We have arrived at the Hope. I need you to reroute power from our ship to the Hope's auxiliary generator. You'll have to connect me to the Hope's comm system so I can convince her central computer to enable the skip drive. If your calculations are for the sun, I must recommend you leave. Captain, I wish to offer my commendations for convincing the UDL's gunship to leave HRS-1084. I did not favor the idea of being stripped and sold for parts.
You know,
When they posted us here, I told them there wasn't any point. Nobody would be so stupid. Shows how much I know. Bullshit. If UDL was sending more folks, they'd have told us. Rockwell sent you? Shit. Guess you really are important. Alright. You'll want a uniform so my staff doesn't shoot you on sight. They're a dangerous mix of bored and trigger-happy. We've got a few extra in the old badge station to my right. Good luck. Good luck.
Looking good, soldier.
You hear about Edgewater? Glad to know we still have supporters in the colony.
I don't recognize. Don't make more paperwork for me, all right?
Let's hope we don't have to run in a hurry.
Can you hear me, Captain? I have successfully integrated myself into the Hope's comm systems, and am attempting to establish contact with the Hope's more primitive processor now. Would you like me to play a mood-suitable music selection while you travel to the bridge? Oh, sorry. Final work now. That's the Hope's computer up ahead. I'll admit, I am curious to wake him. Greetings, Captain. I am speaking to you through the Hope's computer system. Are you sure that an jump starting? I would.
In case I don't get it.
Admitting it definitely.
ADA. Does your captain seriously intend?
That is what.
But that is a gross misuse.
Yes.
You should not be doing this.
Thank you, Hope. Good. We are still alive and have successfully skipped into Terra 2's orbit. I reported as much to Phineas Wells, but he has not responded. Perhaps you should check in on him.
I hardly felt a thing.
Was that an attempt at humor, Doctor? Certain levels of brilliance are difficult for me to discern.
Anything like that. I'm gonna need a minute.
Captain, I am receiving a transmission from Dr. Captain.
The board is here. They've found me somehow. They're about to blast my door open. I can't stop them from getting me, and there isn't enough. The board. All their lackeys, they're all... You fucking pigs!
It would seem the recording captured some rather... How can I... Take care. Now arriving at Phineas's top-secret orbital lab. Remember that you are...
Light him up.
Everyone all right?
If you stop in the engine room, would you ask Parvati to send Sam down to the bridge? Captain, as it appears, I believe...
So Wells has been arrested and locked up in...
And here we are, entertaining the notion...
To extract the scientist, you will need to infiltrate the labyrinth.
Don't look at it as saving the day. Look at it as securing your investment. Phineas owes you big time.
I'm sure the outlaw Phineas will appreciate you saving his day, as it were, Captain. If you really mean to do this, you should see to your final affairs.
If we don't make it, at least it'll be a great story.
Got my trusty tossball stick, got my ass-kicking boots. I'm ready, boss.
Outstanding.
You can count on us, Captain. We're crew. For real crew. That means we got each other's backs. Right?
Never thought I'd volunteer to break into a prison. Seems like your tendency towards risky behavior is rubbing off on me, Captain.
Command not recognized.
Waiting on your command, Captain. I like what you've done with the place. Kitschy collectibles are such a human inclination. Captain Hawthorne never worked to support the board before, at least not officially. I suppose we are turning over a new leaf? I am pleased to inform you that we have arrived at the labyrinth. Please be advised that the punishment for trespassing is execution. Please be advised that electrical storms on the surface of Tartarus make departure impossible at this. Resident count is as follows. The interior, I would also add. Understood. Oh.
Attention, unauthorized spacecraft. This is a maximum security installation. You are hereby confined to your... Your ship is not permitted to leave until you remit payment for your fines and submit yourself to execution. Only after your smoking corpse is thrown from an airlock.
Captain, I would not recommend...
All right. I'm feeling generous. I'm transmitting the idea of a productive, law-abiding employee so you can see what one looks like before you die. Anyway, Tartarus Docking Authority signing up. Hang on. Another ship just pulled into your dock. Wait, is that from the Groundbreaker? What the? Pay no mind to that. Just have a pleasant day.
Transmission terminated. Biometric ID received. Transferring data to external cartridge. How can I be of assistance? See you soon, Captain, I hope Dr. Wells has not dragged you into one of his irrational schemes again. My diagnosis of his mental stability is...
Captain did right by us once.
What?
Now it's ours.
What was that?
The board will never own Groundbreaker. Not while I reign. Push on, Margot!
Stay down, Oldhead. Stay down, Oldhead. Groundbreaker doesn't need special.
I'll get him.
Let's take him down!
Don't mess with that.
Somebody clean up this mess. From there. Keep your eyes out. This is gonna be fun.
Here we go.
That's the last of him!
Sure never planned on seeing the inside of this place.
They say nobody's ever broken out of the labyrinth. Didn't say nothing about breaking in, though. Lead the way, boss. I got your back.
On it, Captain. Here we go. Bring it down!
You want some of this?
I'm on it!
Heads up, boss!
That's the last of us. Here we go! Anyone else?
Here they come!
I got this.
Right.
Security alert.
Moving out!
Sure.
No prisoners! Hit! Working, boss! Yeah!
Make him regret it.
Soldier?
Let's go, troops. Stellar base counting on us.
Time for action.
All right, here we go! Heads up, jackass! More where that came from. I need cover! Can't believe we're here. You got it!
Here we go!
Don't mess with the best!
On it. I'm going. Time
Heads
for
up!
action.
I'll make you pay! Ah! I'll find whoever did this.
Light him up. They got the drop on us.
You're going down!
Help Felix! My kind of action. Not bad, huh?
Oh, that's the last of him.
All right, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So, get in there and fight!
About a blasted lab coat. Fugitives and fugitives. Something's not right.
I just heard them buying photos.
Guess this is it, huh?
All right, boss. I'm ready. Let's do this.
After all you've done, all the work you've destroyed, all the money you've cost me, your misguided crusade has doomed Halcyon. Idiot! I'm not the one marching to my death in a maximum security prison. In any other circumstance, I'd admire your boldness. In this one, however, I have only 2 words for you. Fuck off. No call for... You unbelievable bastard! Sophia should be the one wasting her time with you, but you killed her. I'll have you hanged, quartered, bankrupted. Thankfully, you're in a prison already. Find the nearest cell and wait until I'm done here. Then I'll drag you to the executioner myself. Is that sarcasm? Do you know what I do to people who employ the lowest, most base form of humor? I fire them. Alas, as you are woefully unemployed, I'll have to do the next best thing and have you killed. In the next room is the finest automechanical purveyor of death ever made. Try not to scratch the paint with your skull, it was fucking expensive. Absolutely not. Akande was always the sociable one, not me. Need I repeat the magic 2 words?
You got nimble fingers, Captain. On it.
Jackass is incoming!
I'm going. I got him!
Toss-ball kick!
Just like that.
Joey, hold on!
Watch the pro at work. How about that? Someone else will clean this up, right?
Halcyon after all. Why must I always do everything myself?
That was fun.
Get me out of here!
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You lunatic. You broke into the board's own fortress and killed the chairman just to rescue one doddering old man? You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough. Ah, all in a day's work for you, huh? You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated. Theatrics! Merciful law, I wish I were exaggerating. Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
They haven't exactly been hands-on around here anyway. So there's one less rubber stamp to worry about.
Earth is humanity's home planet, Miss Fenhill. The psychological effects of losing our original home will be devastating. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own. Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds, and then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us? You've certainly earned your freedom. Halcyon is a better place with you around. You've kept your end of our bargain. Now it's time I kept mine. I'll revive the Hope's colonists myself, and we'll get on with the business of saving this colony. You're the best thing to ever happen to Halcyon. If you want to take it upon yourself to lead this colony, you have my support. We're not a colony any longer, are we? Our last connection to Earth has been severed, and so we have been set free. Our future is uncertain, and no one knows what tomorrow holds. Exciting, isn't it?
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast's manpower, Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause. MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen through the cracks. Without Lilia Hagen, Sublight Salvage fell apart. The company fractured, devolving into a series of unregulated criminal gangs, fences, and smugglers. Their facade of legitimacy quickly faded. In time, the Sublight family was forgotten. Adelaide McDevitt replaced Reed Thompson as the leader of Edgewater. She and her followers transformed Edgewater in their image. Anyone loyal to Reed was pressured into leaving town, and those who stayed behind adapted to her way of life. Adelaide transformed the old cannery into a new garden. The nearby Edgewater Cemetery provided a convenient source of fertilizer. As for Reed Thompson, it was said that he lasted exactly 2 days outside the walls of Edgewater. Years later, a marauder was found in possession of his hat. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Your influence further cemented Ellie's perspective. She understood she could never truly rely on others, so she set about making sure she wouldn't have to. With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own. She enjoyed a long and infamous career running missions across the system. Some of them were even legal. Felix Millstone never lived to see what became of the colony. He did not survive his encounter with you. After all he'd seen and heard adventuring with you, the Vicar Maximilian de Soto renounced his faith and joined the effort to rebuild the colony. Ironically, he finally found the joy that had eluded him over the course of his life, and realized that perhaps he was always meant to be just a simple laborer after all. He quickly dismissed the idea. Though Parvati eventually grew comfortable aboard the Unreliable, she never quite came out of her shell. She seemed to prefer the company of Ada to the crew, and she could often be found neck-deep in cables and grease, telling Ada funny stories from her childhood. While the colony fell into chaos, she found an island of relative peace with Ada, and they formed an unusual bond. She decided to remain aboard the Unreliable permanently as its chief and sole engineer. As hard as she tried to drink them away, Nyoka's memories eventually overcame her. Traveling with the crew served as a constant reminder of the family she'd lost, and so she eventually returned to Monarch to get back to what she found most comfortable: the deep end of a bottle and the far end of a trail. Few have seen her since, but travelers often swear they hear her and her machine gun in the night, screaming swears and spitting bullets. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Though Minister Clark was eventually released from house arrest, long years of isolation left him a changed man, little suited for bureaucratic work or for the colony that was changing around him. He remained in his estate largely by choice, fading from public view. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. Dr. Wells was able to revive many more scientists and engineers than he first expected, thanks to the additional batch of chemicals you stole from the Ministry. Wells never forgot about the human lives that were lost in acquiring these chemicals. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you? The unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon. You brought an end to the chaos on Tartarus and left Dr. Wells to his own devices. The affairs of the colony never distracted you from living out your own dreams, to captain a ship, to sail the ether, and to earn a reputation as the greatest spacer Halcyon ever had. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.